All right, it says that we are live on Facebook. Good morning, friends. How are you today? I am Just Ask Jen, and this is my good friend, Denise Johnson. She is the owner of Zentailz. Zentailz is an organization, a company that helps families with their furry friends, with their pets, with their family members that can't talk just yet, that are on four legs. And so, Denise, thank you for joining us this morning. How are you?
I am great. And my name is actually Franzak Johnson. A lot of people just say Denise Johnson, but it's actually Denise Franzak Johnson.
I wasn't sure how to say that.
A lot of people aren't.
So Denise, tell us about Zentailz. Why did you get started with this? Let's start there.
Well, there's a long backstory and then a recent story. The long backstory is, as a kid, I have always worked with animals, helped animals, rescued animals, rehabilitated them, and found them homes. But about a year ago, I had a very special to me dog pass away. His name was Blue, and Blue had lots and lots of health issues, emotional issues and mental issues, right? So physically, he had all kinds of diseases, not to mention multiple types of cancers. So I learned how to manage his diet to help him be the best he could be physically, which in turn helped him mentally and then emotionally. He went from being a reactive dog to a much calmer dog. And then emotionally, he was happy. He wasn't depressed because he was feeling better. So I connected all those pieces with him. Sadly, it was too late, but that's why I do what I do. And I'm getting the chills as I say it, because I want to help people before it's too late for their family member.
So I have a question. I currently don't own a dog or a cat, and I just have 4 children. So I thought that was probably enough for me right now. But I wanted to say, like, how do you know your dog is having challenges with their emotional or mental? Physically, you can see they're walking off, or maybe their stool is off, or what. You can kind of see the physical a little bit, but how do you know the emotional or the mental, and how do those express differently?
So both of them express pretty much the same, and they express in their behavior. So a dog who was once playing with toys and jumping around is now a little more lethargic, right? Or a dog who was always loving his other fur buddies is now becoming reactive. So dogs, they can't use their words, so they use their presence and their emotions and their body to tell us what they need. And a lot of people don't always pick up those signals.
So when we see a change in behavior, no different than if we saw an adult or a child who changes their behavior. So thinking about those of us that are more comfortable in the human realm, and it's like, okay, well, how do I know that there's an issue with my pet? Okay, well, if you notice it in your child or your spouse or a friend, it's the same thing. When you notice that same change, okay.
Exactly. And it can even be something as subtle as they're sleeping a little bit more. A lot of senior pets, just like our senior members of society, the humans, they start to get a little bit of dementia. Well, we can help with that as well through the physical needs that they have.
Oh, that's really very cool. So you are currently in Phoenix.
I am.
And do you work with people just in the Phoenix area?
No, I actually work with people all over the country, and am hoping to go across the borders.
Oh, that is so very cool.
So yes.
So, okay, so I'm thinking, all right, I'm a pet owner. I have a dog driving me crazy every time anybody walks by the house. They don't stop barking for 5 minutes, like something like that. But I live somewhere else. I live in Las Vegas. That's where I live. So you live in Arizona, I live in Las Vegas. How would this work, that we work together? Because I'm assuming you're not traveling and I'm not traveling. So how does this work?
Nope, I contact you via Zoom. The first thing that we do is we have a little chat on the phone so I could understand your dog's age, their breed, what the things are that's happening, what's going on. And then we set up a Zoom call. And then I can literally see your environment. I could see what's going on with your dog. I could ask time of day. Believe it or not, time of day plays a big factor in their behavior.
Really?
Yes, think of our circadian rhythms. All animals have circadian rhythms. So some animals could get a little more angst earlier in the morning or a little more angst at night. Think about people who are coming and going. All those kind of things can affect them. And as I see your environment, just like you could see my environment behind me, you could tell by the light in my room that it's daytime or it's a certain particular time of the day. So I go through people and I do a lot of questions. To get to, I investigate. I'm a detective, basically.
How long have you been working with animals?
Since I was 10, and I'm a little past that now.
Fair enough. Okay, what has been the wildest animal story that you have with the transformation that you've been able to make?
Oh, wow, there's been a lot, but the wildest, I've had a lot with a lot of clients, but honestly, really and truly, my own dog who went from not being able to be in the same room with another dog to being able to lay down next to a dog and be friends with them.
Oh, wow. That is a huge change.
That is. And that was done with all those different things. And sometimes when it's an emotional thing and it's not exhibiting totally through their physical, because sometimes that can happen. Because I also do energy work, I can pick up on the energy of your animal through you.
Wow.
Yes, I can also pick up some of their physical needs and their dietary needs through you as well.
Wow. I'm just posting right now. Check out Zentailz with us on here just so people can come and see us on Facebook. That is really very, very cool that you have that and that you can transfer this knowledge and this experience and your I'm trying to think your gifts into multiple arenas. And I think sometimes I know I'm guilty of this because I don't have pets. I haven't had a pet in like almost 20 years. I haven't had a pet. And pets love me.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's pets love me. They come up to me. But I don't happen to have any. And I think sometimes people like me, I can say this because it's me, get judgmental over people and their animals, like, oh, geez, Pete's, what's the big deal? It's a dog, and not understanding how deep this relationship can be with a person and their dog or their or whatever. And what word of wisdom would you give to someone like me that is maybe dismissive, because I sometimes can be, of that and makes make my friends feel uncomfortable because I think that, or I might say something that might make them feel in a way that is like my kids are more important, I guess, like my human children are more important or something like that. Because I know I'm pretty sure I've said something like that.
Mm-hmm.
What would you offer as a word of advice to those of us that are not currently pet owners or don't have that connection?
The animals. Yeah. The word is sentient. Animals are sentient beings, which means they're capable of feeling. And a lot of people don't understand that. They think that they're an object or a possession to have, to own, and to manage. But really, that's not what they are. They are here to form a bond with us, a friendship with us. There are people who feel that their animals are their sole partner. How do you think that animals are able to be rescued at such an old age and still become such a wonderful pet, even though they've gone through all this craziness in their life, or how dogs can connect to a human to help them with their diabetes or their anxiety because they have that emotional connection. And a lot of people don't understand that. So just like we can become emotionally connected to a human, we can to an animal as well.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, because I think that I know that for me, sometimes I can be, like, oh my goodness. I was just at my friend's house yesterday and she's got this little tiny teacup chihuahua looking thing that spins around in circles and barks like all the time. She finally licked me yesterday. I had my hand down and she finally licked my hand. She like jumped on my leg or my hand just a little bit, not enough to let me pick her up. But it's just funny how different animals behave in different ways. And like you said, with different experiences and the craziness of what they may have been experiencing. Okay, so let's get down to the money business stuff. How does someone get in touch with you so they can get help with their family to make a more cohesive, harmonious family life with all of their family members?
So there's a couple different ways. If you're on Facebook, you can reach out to me through Facebook Messenger. I'm on Facebook as well as with my name, Denise Franczak Johnson. I'll spell that for everybody. F as in Frank, RANCZAK Johnson. They can go to my Facebook business page, Zentailz. That's ZENTAILZ.com, because the tale tells the story, don't you know? They can go to my website as well, same spelling as my Facebook page. So they could go to my website, and I have all the types of things that I do, from Reiki for animals, aromatherapy for animals, behavioral training, and the different kinds of consults that I can do to help your pet be the best it could be, but also make it the best relationship you can have with them.
That is so very cool. That is so very cool. And then how long is a typical session? So like for initial one, and then versus like working together, what would you say that is like?
So initial consult is 90 minutes. Okay. So a half an hour of it is my delving into questions, and then we go into our first training session. And then a typical training session is an hour, whether it's aromatherapy, whether it's Reiki, nutrition, or behavior.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Denise, thank you so much for giving us some of your time this morning. Here at Just Ask Jen, we're looking at how do we get the message out? How do we let people know you may have a pet? You might have a friend that has a pet. Christmas is coming. Connect with Zentailz, because you might have someone in your life that needs some help and support with their pet. I have a very dear friend, and she has a very reactive dog. Does not like men. My boys, they've been fine with, but then when they hit like 5 feet, 5.5 feet tall, he's nuts, doesn't like them. He can handle me and he'll come up to me and play with me. But my boys has a really hard time with, and then the weather and and all these other things. And then even when my friend has her own issues with what's going on with her health, because he recognized it, her anxiety or her other conditions. And it's like, he can sense these things. Then he has his own stuff that he's going through. And so it's knowing what to do to help your pet really can make you have a much more harmonious home. And I think that those parents that it's Christmas time, guys, and if you're buying your family a pet and you're not prepared for it, before you think about giving that pet away, call Denise.
Yes.
Somebody who got a pet for Christmas and they're like, oh, we want to give our child a puppy. Not a very smart choice all the time. And a lot of times families decide that after the new year, they're like, I don't want that pet anymore. It's not working for me. Connect with Denise. Maybe she can actually help you save that relationship with your family and your newfound friend, because we don't need any more animals going to shelters. We don't need anybody else giving back. These pets, these animals, they need our love too. And it doesn't help them to have that transient. We know what it does to kids when we've got fostering and everything else.
Oh, yeah.
And they're displaced from their home. So if you've made a family member with your pet become part of your family, consider what you can do to help keep them there. Contact Denise, let her help you navigate some of these confusing times when you're not sure what to do, because Zentailz can help.
Yeah. And one thing I just want to add to close this is, if you haven't gotten a pet yet, still reach out to me, because I can help you choose the right animal for your family. There are people who say, I would never get a greyhound. Do you know that greyhounds are lounge lizards? They will just lay on your couch all day, every day. You live in a small apartment, you're not going to want a husky, even though you love that breed, right? So with that, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to call my boy here to say goodbye, because the one thing I want people to know is the most important behavior you can have with any dog is your recall, the ability to get them to come to you. Okay. So I live in a 2-story. I have no idea where in my house my dog is, but I'm going to call him. Levi, come.
Okay, so you said you whistled, you said his name, and you said come.
Yep. Up. And here he is. There's my boy.
Oh my gosh.
Until next time, guys, wag more, bark less.